Hello and welcome to Overview Overwatch. So this is episode 14 and today I'm joined by three guests, all on camera for a change. So we have Alex Cheeselord, we have Savi down at the bottom left, and then bottom right then is Horrocks. So I'm joined by these three guys today to discuss something a little bit different than what the usual content has been. We're going to discuss the UK Collegiate show match that'll be happening, someone remind me, on the 3rd of February?
Yeah, on the 5th,
5th of
the
February. I
Sunday.
was 2 days off. So Sunday coming up. We're released a week ahead to get the hype going for this. And I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I've heard a little bit about it, and I can't wait to hear some more. So we'll start off just with the usual question. We'll say, hear about the mains here. So Alex, I'll go to you first. Who would you consider your main?
Oh God, I wasn't looking forward to this question. Uh, I am a Mercy main,
A Mercy main.
an
Okay.
unapologetic Mercy main.
Okay. And we were actually chatting about Mercy a little bit at the start. So
hmm
balance changes for Mercy. It's probably something that's a little bit contested at the moment. Where do you stand
I
on it?
have strong opinions on this. I think she needs a change, but I think they should get rid of her res, and I think they should give her bombs that she drops as she flies over people.
Okay, like a B-52.
Yeah, she's a fighter jet now, but she needs to turn into a bomber.
Excellent. Okay, we'll see how that goes down with the community in general. I'd love to see it personally, but Savi, I'll go to you next. Then, who's your main?
At the moment, it's got to be Sojourn. I
Okay,
guess
so Sojourn
and look,
and a Mercy in the one lobby. That's interesting. Okay, another person that probably might need some tuning. What do you think of the
yeah,
recent changes?
I I just think they're permanently hitting on the wrong things with Sojourn to nerf her to put her at a reasonable place. I'm okay with the recent nerfs. They're all right, but the buffs to the primary weren't necessary.
Mm,
The nerfs to the railgun before that they did weren't enough. Even like Mercy Pocket made it really OP, but Mercy Sojourn still at the moment I think is going to be incredibly powerful.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I just think they have no idea how to balance her. Um,
Yeah, I think that's thinking about their philosophy with new heroes. It seems like how many things can we make this hero do? And it's I think Sojourn fits into that. She just has the escape. She used to have the slow. She has the burst, the sustain, the whole lot. So I think maybe even looking at their design philosophy for heroes in future could be something that's on the horizon. And Horrocks, not to leave you out, then who's your main?
I think I'd be wrong if I said anything that isn't Lucio. He's the character that I've got the most playtime on by
Yeah.
far, so it's got to be him.
Yeah, and what do you think about Lucio's place in the meta and in terms of balance at the moment?
Well, I haven't scrimmed that often because I've been retired recently, but from what I've seen, like from my friends playing and scrimming, he looks like he's in a really good place at the moment for the scrim meta. In ranked, not so much because he'd rather just have a mercy pocket one of your DPSs. But yeah, I feel like he's in a good place. But as much as I like Lucio, I want to have games of ranks where I can play different characters as well. And
Mm,
right now I only get to play Lucio Mercy Kiriko, so that isn't as fun.
yeah, so you just want to see just more diversity, I suppose, for the supports.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. Okay, so Alex, I'll go back to you on this then. Tell me the
Mhm.
rundown on this show match then. Who's in
Yeah,
it? What are we looking forward to?
I was just going to say, I think Horrocks was the only one who escaped from that question unscathed with a with an answer that no one will get upset with. I don't think
Honorable
anyone
Lucio
hates
main,
Lucio.
yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
anyone hates Lucio mains.
mhm.
I think you're right, yeah.
Right. So wait, what was the question?
The question is, tell me a little bit more for maybe people who might not be familiar with the show match that's coming up. What are we looking at here?
hmm So we're looking at in between the winter and the spring seasons of the university leagues. We're putting on a sort of show match to answer the question of which is the best region in the UK collegiate scene, the north or the south. So we've got six of the best players from the north, from six of the best universities in the north, six of the best from the south, and well, they're going to play some Overwatch.
Okay. So, Alex, you're representing the South, I believe.
Yeah, me and Sav, the Southerners. I mean,
Southerners here.
in the Midlands,
Yeah.
you
South,
know,
south enough, not to be considered
south enough.
north. So Horrocks, the only
Mhm.
North man here. Then, tell me a little bit about the team that I believe the Manchester Minotaurs are kind of. Well, that's the college you're associated with, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm on the committee for Manchester Metropolitan Unis Esports Society, which is Minotaurs. And so for the Northern team, do you want me to list through the names? Because I've got them to
Yeah,
hand.
go for it.
Okay, so we've got IMAX from Liberty as our sub DPS. We've got Tommy and Flabberjack from Liverpool and Teesside as our support backline. Sutty and Mantra from Nottingham and Durham. And then as our tank, we have Midge from our uni, Manchester Metropolitan.
Nice. A lot of names there that would be kind of that wouldn't be as well known as some of the people that you'd hear about. So, who you most excited to see play?
I may be a bit biased here because because it's my uni, right? But from playing with this guy, I'm looking forward to seeing Midge play because for most of his time playing Overwatch, he's mostly just been a ranked warrior. Outside of playing with our university team, he hasn't really got much team experience, which is why I think he'll surprise a lot of people. Because when I announced his show match in our server and when I posted it on our society's Twitter account, I got a lot of questions from people asking like, why aren't I playing in it? But I genuinely believe now that I'm retired and I don't spend as much time grinding the game. He's the best person to kind of pass the baton on to. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him play, especially when Alex and Savi go through who is playing for the South because their tank player is someone who most people should recognize.
Okay, and Sav, I'll go to you with this one then. Tell me who's playing, who's representing the South here for the UK.
Yeah. I don't have the names pulled up, but it should be because I don't have the universities without having the doc open. But we have Yarvin. Which role is Yarvin playing?
He's from Cardiff. I can list them off if you want me to.
Yeah, I don't have the form pulled up with. I've got their names, but not their universities and roles.
Yeah. So we have our backline is Tordos from Portsmouth, Yarvin from Cardiff, Volta from Southampton, Time from Exeter, and Meta One from Warwick as our DPS line. And then for our tank, we have Jari from Essex.
Yeah, I think a name that definitely is a lot more familiar to most people. So Sav, looking at that team, then who are you most excited to see? Is it Jaru, or is there someone on that team that might surprise people?
I'm really split actually, because obviously Jari big name, so it's really exciting to see what he'll be able to do. But also local from Warwick, we have Meta One, who is without a doubt, I think it's fair to say the best DPS we've had in Warwick Overwatch. I think that'd be fair to say, right, Alex? He was
Yeah.
a Sim One trick, which is even more interesting. He's been top 500 consistently. I think top 100 for a little bit now.
Wow.
Probably even better, and he's done it all on Sim, which is like insane.
Kind of
It's
mental, actually. Yeah.
he thinks in a different way to how you would think DPS is played.
Yeah. Well, I think, one of the most interesting things about Sim one tricks in particular is like if you're a Sim one trick at the highest level for a long time, you've played like four different heroes to the highest level. It's not like if you're a Mercy one trick, she's been pretty much the same for a good few years, but Sim has gone through so many different iterations and changes that have been such a big deal, so that it definitely shows that there's a bit of a brain on this guy, which is definitely exciting to see. So, Alex, I'll go back to you. Is there anyone across the whole competition then that you're most excited to see that maybe hasn't been mentioned yet?
Well, I mean, to sort of jump in off what you were saying there, Meta isn't the only Sim one trick in the competition.
Oh, really?
So Meta is the South sim specialist and the North also have a sim one trick in IMAX on their team.
Wow.
Both of whom are top 100, I'm pretty sure. So maybe you see this narrative of like the battle of the Symmetras, right? Maybe it'll be, which Symmetra player will sort of carry.
I mean, I'm hoping
But
for it.
to move away from Symmetra, because we've been talking about Symmetra, we did a little tester match the other day just to make sure the teams are balanced. And on the North side, two players that were definitely sticking out to me were Suti, the hit scan DPS, and then Tommy on the flex support. Those who I'd keep my eye on.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so again, just to reiterate, this is players that are in college in the UK, divided in that north-south, but they're all attending college, which is, something that's probably in Overwatch gotten a little bit more attention now than it has recently. Thinking back to, some of the NA collegiate, apologies, I've been saying colleges in Ireland. It's colleges in UK, of course, it's uni. But these universities and these colleges have gotten a little bit more attention. I'm thinking about Maryville Esports announcing their kind of star-studded roster over in NA. Local Irish talent here, Grathens, has been picked up as well for NA Collegiate. Can you talk to me a little bit about how NA Collegiate might differ to UK Collegiate? What are some of the similarities and some of the differences? Horrocks, I'll go to you with this one.
Yeah, so with UK Collegiate, it's definitely more community oriented. It doesn't matter who you are, you can still sign up as long as you go to a university and you can find people that go to the same uni as you. So I think last season we had something like 170 teams playing throughout the UK.
Wow.
But then on the other side, NA Collegiate definitely has more funding and sponsors directly from Blizzard. So they're more financially established than the UK Collegiate scene.
And do you think this is maybe just because of the UK scene's like infancy, or is this something that maybe you hope to develop into a little bit more, or you could see develop into a little bit more?
I'm confident that it's infancy. I think in the future we'll catch up. I think esports as a whole has been bigger in NA than it is in separate countries within EU. So I'm confident that over time it will catch up.
Very good. Now, obviously, there is a lot of spotlight that can go on these players, and these show matches are great for that. You're talking about players who, like you said, been ranked warriors, things like that. Collegiate should be seen as another path to, we won't say fame, but we'll say recognition and reputation within Overwatch. The most common one at the moment is, of course, the path to pro. So, Sav, can you talk to me about why you might choose Collegiate as opposed to path to pro?
I think for a lot of people, Collegiate is it as Horrocks said, it focuses a lot more on community, but also when you're going to university, you are essentially kind of, unless you're going for an esports degree, which isn't that popular in the UK, it's not something that is offered by very many places. It, esports collegiate is more something you do whilst you're doing your degree. And it's also where a lot of people realize that, hey, actually getting involved with this game competitively is something that I might actually be able to do to like a high level. So it offers you more than just you're going to go boom or bust like it is with Path to Pro. You have something else to do if you want, but you can also get involved to whichever level of play you want and just you don't have to take it too seriously if you want to, but we want the option to be there for all kinds of players, including the ones that want to go pro, to be recognized. I think for me, as somebody who wouldn't be able to go and do Path to Pro because I know with how good I am at the game currently, there's just no way I'd make it. I'm incredibly thankful for the collegiate space because even though I haven't been on Warwick's first team for the last 2 years, I've still been able to compete in the collegiate scene to a high level to playoffs and really enjoy that, while still being able to focus on my studies, which is in computer science, which I like,
Yeah,
also like.
it's very good. It's almost like it offers you this extra opportunity,
Mhm.
as opposed to, like I said, putting all your eggs in one basket with the path to pro, which is often the case for these people who do want to go pro. Alex, I'll go to you. Sav spoke a little bit there about, helping not just those who want to go pro, but a wider community. So I'm aware that Warwick Esports is a pretty good scene in Overwatch. There's a lot of teams there. So can you talk to me little bit kind of about how the structure for the Overwatch scene is in Warwick?
Yeah. Yeah. Sav really hit the nail on the head about community and all that, and it's a safety net, right, for people who want to go in. Yeah. So we've got around Overwatch community at work. Overwatch in itself has sort of been going through a bumpy time for a few years, but over the last year, we've sort of seen people actually getting a lot more involved. People coming back to the game, people coming to the game who've never played the game before, and we've gone from being the sort of child and sort of this small subsection of esports at work to now being the third biggest game community
Wow.
at work. We're, I think I'm getting this right, we're the largest by points in the Newell, which is like one of the collegiate tournaments, game community out of any university, out of any game in the UK.
Wow.
So I think we're bigger than League, we're bigger than Val, we're bigger than all those other games, than any other single individual game community. And you were talking earlier about how NA is so much further ahead with Overwatch, and I think that's partly true because they started in NA when they started in NA Collegiate, so it was always League and Overwatch. Those were the two programs that every college was running.
Yeah.
But I was talking to a lot of directors there a few months ago, and I was talking to them about our numbers, and I was like, look, we've got 7 teams that we have playing competitively. That's 35 players who are competing. And they're like, we struggle to field 2. And so I think that's evidence, and that's a showcase of how what's been this thing that's kept the UK collegiate scene running throughout all the hard times, which is the community, is actually the thing that's going to keep pushing it and keep growing it. And actually, that's the strength of the UK scene. It's not going to be the funding, and it's not going to be the top level. It's going to be the community aspect. And the fact that even if your game's dead, you still have people who play it with you. You still have friends that you're going to be, right? So I think that sort of brings together everything everyone else has been saying, right? About how it's the community aspect that it's like the central pillar of how we do things.
Yeah, it sounds like go on, Horrocks.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like,
Go
can I
on.
add something before we move on? Because, like, adding on to the community bit, I retired from playing in Overwatch Path to Pro, so Open Division and Contenders Trials back in August. And since I've started getting more involved in my university society, I'm closer to my teammates in this than I have ever been with any of my teammates in the Path to Pro. Mostly because I see them in real life more often, but I'm going to a house party this Saturday with people from all 5 of our Overwatch teams, and then we're also going on a pub crawl soon as well. So we do a lot of socials with each other. I just generally feel like I'm more part of a community when I'm with them rather than a Path to Pro team. So
Yeah.
Not to mention,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, of course, go ahead.
Not to mention with the collegiate space, because most way like esports societies and stuff function, we have discords where we, all our members will interact and they're local to a campus. Players that are currently in education at the university will meeting each other in person all the time. But on top of that, people who have graduated, if they liked their time in the server, they'll stay. So you have this constant like growth, and even though those postgraduates won't necessarily be able to play in tournaments, it means that sense of community and the numbers that you have that is building that community is constantly growing and drawing in more people. and that leads, when you've got more people, it typically means you get more skilled people, like
Yeah.
top tier people
Yeah,
come in.
I mean, I'm an example of that, right? I graduated last year. I'm not a student anymore,
Yeah.
and I'm helping run this event for the Uni Overwatch community because I understand its value. And I think your Horrocks was really onto something, which is that like the path to pro can be kind of cutthroat,
Mm.
especially jumping between teams and being cut from teams. But Collegiate isn't like that. I mean, Savi, I was on a team with Savi 2 years ago. He was on first team. I was on first team. The next year, he was dropped from first team. There were better players than him. Um, that didn't impact our friendship. We're still friends, and we're better friends now. I don't know if that would have happened through Path to Pro.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's no secret that the path to pro, as you said, is quite cutthroat. Um, speaking to some people who are more involved with that over the last couple of weeks, one of the key things that came up was if you're a player who's at tier 3 level, or maybe a little bit too young, focus on yourself. Don't focus on your team, because it's unlikely that all of you are going to get in. Whereas hearing you guys talk about Collegiate, it feels more about, focus on developing a team and focus on, I suppose what I would say is to people in the UK who are maybe looking at university options here, who are fans of Overwatch and even fans of other games. It doesn't have to be Overwatch, like you mentioned, League and Valorant, and I'm sure there's probably a few Rocket League teams kicking around as well. Um,
Just a few.
just a few, yeah.
Yeah, we have a few.
Yeah. So if there's young people listening who, esports is a big passion of theirs, like it is all of ours, there is a space for them in university when they graduate or when they move into it, and it doesn't have to have the same culture that Path to Pro has. I guess, would that be fair to say?
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. And on top of that, not only do collegiate spaces like welcome every kind of player, um, we're also at Warwick seen other universities do it as well. We are working every year to try and make it so that if you want to improve, if you want to focus on improvement and become more competitive, we're trying to provide resources for that. In Overwatch in Warwick, it's been great this year because we've managed to get two high level coaches with a lot of experience to come and coach our first and second team, and then some players who were interested in coaching but had no prior experience have turned around and said, "But I want to coach too." So what we've turned around and said, "Yeah, you can. You'll coach the third team, and we'll have you learn about coaching from our other two more experienced ones, so that we can, improve
Mm.
the players' skills even more, and that results in better Newell and NSC points for us, but it also helps the players a lot, which is great.
So again, thinking about this show match, this North South show match, this is not just everything that the UK collegiate scene does, and you do have a regular season. So, Horrocks, I'll go to you with this one. Could you tell me a little bit more about the regular season and how it functions?
Yeah, so for each season throughout the year, we have two main tournaments, which are NSE and Newell. They run alongside each other. So you'll have one day throughout the week for NSE, you'll have one day throughout the week for Newell, and each university can put forward multiple teams. I think Warwick mentioned you're going to put forward between 5 and 7 this season. We're going to put forward 5 ourselves, and each team battle it against each other in an open division style bracket. So there's a real mix of teams there, and that progresses onto playoffs and etc. and then onto the finals. So it's very open division like. That's the best way I'd describe it. Not in terms of playing quality. I believe the playing quality is better, but the style is more
Yeah.
open division like.
And if there's maybe a group of friends out there in college who have maybe a fringe interest in esports,
Yeah.
can they get involved with this kind of open system, or is it strictly reserved to people who are just already involved?
So it's only open to current students at the moment. So if you want to build a team to play and represent your university, you represent people. You have to get other people from your university to represent it as well.
But anyone can go and make a team in their university, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, okay, that's great to hear. Again, you're just working towards that kind of inclusivity, I suppose, for want of a better word. Okay, guys, look, that's awesome. Alex, I'll go back to you. Give me a rundown. When can I see this show match, and where can I see it?
5th of February, so next Sunday, if you're watching this live, I think.
Yeah.
And where? That'll be on twitch.tv/Warwick Esports. You can see how it's spelled. Over there, down there.
Awesome.
Yeah, down there.
Yeah,
Link in description probably.
more
I
than
assume.
likely. Yeah.
Yeah, should be good. I think we're starting the match at 6 p.m.
Yeah, 6 p.m.
Okay, so that's 7 CET. Yeah.
Yeah.
7 CET. Perfect, guys. Do you have any final words?
Wow.
I have something, which is you were talking about people who were thinking about going to university and sort of trying the stuff, and I just give a piece of advice to them, which is there's nothing stopping you from joining these Discord communities and sort of putting your toe in the water before you actually go to university, right? You can say, I'm thinking about going to Loughborough. I'm thinking about going to Nottingham. I'm thinking about going to Warwick. You can go and join their Discords, and you can go and see what their communities are like. You can go see what their atmosphere is like, how they do things, whether it's something that you think would enhance your university experience, and you can use that to help you make your decision about where you want to go, right?
Yeah, we have somebody who joined our Discord recently last week. They've played Overwatch bugs with us 2 days ago. There's somebody who's still doing their A levels, but they're a GM support player. So chances are, when our current other support player leaves for Team 1, he's probably going to go and replace them. So he already knows that. He's already been playing with us, and he's already been having a lot of fun. And he's not even a uni student; he's a college student. So
Awesome.
That's another thing as well. If even though unless you're a university student, you can't compete in the All NSC, we're constantly trying to run community events that aren't just for a single university. Like I know in Warwick Esports and MMU, they have hosted like Pugs nights and stuff that are just literally anybody can turn up, and that normally means they'll reach out to other universities and be like, "Hey, got any Overwatch players that want to play some Pugs?" Other stuff like that. We have a event planned with Warwick's Women and Non-Binary group.
Awesome.
They're called the Pack, to play some literal Overwatch custom games, like sports themed ones.
Cool.
So we host all-time non-competitive events and competitive ones, just because it's important to keep that sense of community up.
Again, yeah, it's the community. It's that wide net that just tries its best to fit any kind of person, any sort of person. It's just really great to see you guys. Look, I think you guys are doing really fantastic work here. I'm super looking forward to seeing this match on Sunday. I'm gonna probably root for Manchester if I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably gonna root for Manchester. Yeah,
What would
or sorry,
Jaru
the North, I
think?
should say. What would Jaru think? Yeah, I know. And I've had a couple of people say to me I should have Jaru on next, and now I'm not so sure. What do you guys think? Who should I have on next?
oof.
I think you should have. Have you had some just high level players argue about the current meta?
No, I haven't. Now we've had some people say some thoughts. Shockwave and LH Cloudy had some thoughts on it. But no, I haven't had people just come on and argue about it before.
I think you should give that a go. Yeah, I'm happy to be on.
You need a hog main.
High level
You need a mercy main.
Oh my god, yeah. Hog main, Mercy main, Moira main. Just get all the
Get me
all the
one of
annoying
those. Get me one of those sim mains as well. We make it really interesting.
Okay.
Okay, gentlemen, I'll leave you be. Look, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Again, super looking forward to this. So it is 7 CET Sunday the 5th, and you'll catch that on the Warwick Esports Twitch channel. Again, link in the description below. Pleasure as always, guys, and thank you again for anyone tuning in to another episode of the Overview podcast. We're going to keep the content coming, and as all these really amazing things are happening in the community at the moment. So we'll see you guys again soon. Take care.